Welcome yet to another video. So today I'm just going to be covering a neat piece of software here that I often use, and a lot of you may be familiar with this, some of you may not. So I'm making this video for those of you who have never used MSI Afterburner, just to kind of go over the basics here. I'm not going to get too deep into it because I don't want to feed you too much stuff and kind of confuse you guys. So we'll stick to the basics just to present it to you, and then as you go in time, you can explore it and see what other features you can take advantage of here. Okay, so starting with the basics here, this is an overclocking piece of software that you can use. You can download this here from MSI.com. You can overclock NVIDIA cards or even AMD cards. It doesn't matter. And there's some extra features there for your AMD graphics card, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. First things first, if you want to take this voyage here, you will need to go to MSI.com here, and you just scroll or do a Google search for MSI Afterburner. Is what I recommend. Get it from the main web page. Once you get to the page here, scroll to the bottom. You'll see this here, and just go ahead and download it. The other piece of software that you're going to be needing for checking stability, and I do it. This is the way that I do it. You can choose something else, but personally, this is how I'd rather do it. The next one you can download from Tech Power Up. This is one of my preferred websites and trusted website here. I use Unigene Valley Benchmark. This is for testing stability. If your GPU is not stable, believe me, this will reveal its weaknesses. So I would definitely recommend this here. You can also use the Valley Benchmark, but this is just preference. I'd rather use the Valley Benchmark or versus the Heaven Benchmark. Okay, so once you install, go and try to install MSI Afterburner, you're going to be greeted by two pieces of software. You're going to be greeted by the main MSI Afterburner installation, and also the second one is going to be Riva Tuner. Your Riva Tuner software here, it'll look something like this. This is what will give you that live data on your screen here on the, I don't know if you've seen some videos of YouTubers overclocking, or during video games you see all the FPS here with the graphics card information here on the side, or if you've seen some of my videos, well, that's what this does here. And so that's what the Riva Tuner is going to be for. So you'll be installing two pieces of software in one download. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you. So once you pulled up MSI Afterburner, you'll be greeted by something that looks something like this, like right here. Okay. I am not going to go into too much detail here with the power limit or the temperature limit, other than you can sync them or run them unsynced. If they're synced, see they're moved together here. But basically this is for more advanced people. I mean, if you have some experience with overclocking, that I would obviously give this here a shot. But for you guys that's just starting with overclocking your graphics cards, I'll probably just stay away from this here until you get more comfortable. And also, if you have good cooling in your system, your graphics card has to be able to tolerate the more voltage, the more temperature, because this is definitely going to go up. So anyway, this is the two things here that we're going to start with. If you want to do a little bit of overclocking, just try to safely overclock your graphics card without causing any long-term damage, and squeezing a little extra performance out of it for free. The first thing here, we'll start with the memory. The memory is the one thing that is very flexible. I've seen this go up to 700, 800 megahertz at times. But just for the sake of the video today, we're gonna start with 100 megahertz just to keep it safe. If you want to be conservative, you can also start at 50 megahertz. I know that my 1080 Ti can do 400 megahertz on the memory, but just for the sake of the video, we'll stick to 100 megahertz here. So we'll go with 100 right there. And if you don't want to use your mouse to scroll this here because you can't get the correct number there, you can also use your left and right arrow keys on your keyboard like that, if you want to be specific to a particular number where you want to start. Okay, so to start with here, what I would do is I'll start with 20 extra megahertz if you're not sure how much your card can tolerate. So we'll do 20 and 100, 20 megahertz extra on the core and 100 megahertz on your memory. Okay, this is just playing it safe. Assuming that you have already downloaded Valley Benchmark, you already installed it. Once you pull it up, you get something that looks like this. It looks this small because I'm running it, you know, this is 4K, and yeah, this is just, unfortunately, that's just how it looks. I will stick with 1080 resolution. Here, I'll untick this button. Untick it so that you're not locked on full screen. Just have it so that it's in window mode, and you have it running here side by side, because you want to test your stability as you're turning this up. You know, you want to do this live as you go. So the settings here don't really matter. I'll stick with Ultra, you know, DirectX 11, one monitor. You know, this is, yeah, just, you can copy this here, my settings, it really doesn't matter. So hit run, bring this over here. Obviously you haven't configured this here, so don't worry about this too much. Okay, so now you got MSI Afterburner going here, and you have your you're testing your graphics card stability, force stability, and you'll be able to tell if it's stable or not, because if it is not stable, you begin to see what is called artifacts, you know, anomalies, little gliding, or maybe the screen will freeze, you know, that sort of thing. Then you know you need to back off. You reach the limits. At times your screen, even your computer, may lock up. Don't worry, just hit the reset button and everything will be reset. Just come back here to MSI Afterburner, hit this button here to reset your changes, and you're good to go. So okay, so we're giving it a boost of 20 megahertz. So we're gonna go up to 50 here and see what that does, and you'll see it change here live. So you're looking at 2062. So once we hit this here, now you see it go up there a little bit, and this is the card, you know, power limit, regulating itself. This is basically protecting the card so it doesn't overheat, it doesn't go over the specs. So as you can see there, the temperatures also went up, but we're going to go here to I have a fan curve, a custom fan curve here for this, so the temperatures don't go up too high. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for that to calm down here in a little bit. And so as that's going there, we're gonna continue to go up. Let's do 75. See, it's 75 right there. So that went up a little higher. And the automatic turbo boost does a pretty good job. As you guys probably saw, that the card was already boosting to 1900 plus megahertz by itself. That's because I have the card is water cooled, so it you know, it does okay just by the leaving it default. All right, so it looks like it's stable there. So let's go to maybe try 80. Okay, so you see it there going up. So far so good. Let's go to 90. So it's still stable. We're running good. We're doing good so far. Now, another thing that I wanted to say is that this doesn't 100% guarantee stability. You know, there's still a chance that, depending on the game, depending on the multiple variables, you know, power limit and such, and temperature, that your graphics card or your system is not going to be stable. So you're gonna have to come back here, maybe drop 20 megahertz on the core or the memory. I'll start with the core here, and see if your system is stable again. So okay, so we managed to add another 90 megahertz. Let's see, 100 gets us. And I think that we've reached the power limit here on the card. It's just not going to go up any further than 2038. Yeah, I think this is the limit for my 1080 Ti. So I think we'll call it good there. But yeah, this is just like I said, it's just a quick video just to show you guys, give you a quick tour of MSI Afterburner. Like I told you guys, you can reset everything back to normal just by hitting this button here. And see, everything drops back. And see how well the card is already boosting by itself. I mean, really, I don't need to overclock the card. I just need to be able, you need to be able to keep it cool, and Turbo Boost and NVIDIA cards does a pretty decent job at giving you the best it can at the same time while keeping your system stable. As long as you give it plenty of ventilation and you keep the card nice and quiet, nice and cool. But anyway, so that's for overclocking there. For if you have an AMD graphics card, on the other hand, there are some other features that you can unlock here. For example, you'll be seeing here extend official overclocking limits. This will be available for you guys that have AMD cards, and that will extend this bar here. It'll make it not bigger, but it will just give you more room to play with here. And also I believe, I may be mistaken, I can't recall this, but I believe this also gives you more headroom here, so you can increase the power limit on your AMD graphics card. So you have some settings there you can play with. But yeah, let's see here. So if you want to get this type of information up on your screen, the next thing you want to do is you will go here to your settings, and then you go to monitor, and you see these options here. Okay, so for example, if I want to monitor, let's just see my memory clock, you want to highlight this, just left click on it, show in display, click that. And if you want to name it something, you want to give it your own personal custom name. So you, instead of just calling it memory, you want to go with say VRAM clock. Okay, you want to go with that, and voila, there you go. And you can move this around also. You can take it up or down. You can squeeze it wherever you want to put it. So I want this to be, let's see, memory usage. I want this to be maybe there. Hit apply, and there you go. So now you have it right next to memory usage. So you have them both there, and that's how you would do that. Okay, now I don't need to know what the memory voltage for my graphics card is, so I'm just going to remove this one, and that's how you will remove it. But yeah, really simple. You just gotta left click on the options that you get here, left click on it, show in on screen display, and then if you want to name it your own, you can just click on this here. And so by doing these two things here, now you'll be and hit and apply, you'll be able to see that information here on the screen. But yeah, it's quite useful to have. Now another thing, this is actually these two programs, RevoTuner and MSI Afterburner, work in conjunction with each other. So whatever changes you make here, you're actually doing it through this. Okay, this is what allows for all that to be displayed on the screen there. So for example, if you want to make the letters here bigger, you want to go here, or if you want to make them smaller, you want to go here. So that's where it will be. If you want to change the position where it is on the screen, you can just simply drag this up and down with your mouse. See that? Just like that. So I want my information to be there, or if you want to put it somewhere else on the screen, you could just choose that to here to be on wherever it is on the screen that you want to put it. I would have it start with Windows, so I have this selected here, and you want to have this at application detection level as low and stealth mode on. Some anti-cheat programs may detect this running in the background in some kind of modding software, so you want to enable stealth mode so it bypasses that, and you don't get treated as some modder or some cheater there. Coming down here at the bottom of the RevoTuner options, you see the setup button here, and here you can enable benchmark mode, which will enable you to have extra information here at the bottom of the screen. along with all the other data here. I don't use it. I just don't have any need for it, so I leave that alone. Everything else here, I leave that on stock, except for the check for updates. I don't want that to be give me updates or telling me that I need to update the software or anything like that. Also, if you want to make the screen here, the Riva Tuner screen bigger or smaller, you can do it by coming here and doing this here. Okay, so let's just leave it at 100% size. Leave it there. And yeah, that's just briefly going over Riva Tuner. And let's see, what else? If you want to enable or disable, for example, this overlay like this, if you want to be able to do that, you will simply go here and then go to on-screen display, and you would click on that there and just pick whatever key on your keyboard. I have F2. So left click on this box here, click whatever key you want to assign to it, and then hit apply, and that'll be the key that will turn this on and off. Let's see what else. I have the time, show the time, or you can remove it if you want to. You don't have to have the time. I like to be able to have the time up here, just my preference. You can also benchmark with this. It'll create a file for you. By going here, you'll be able to see that file, where you can see what the results were for your benchmark. You can also assign the key for them. I have F10 to begin, F11 to quit, and then it'll create your file. Once you hit 11, it'll create your file for you, where that you can review here, and it'll tell you the average, minimum, and maximum frames per second of whatever it was that you were benchmarking. You also have screen capture feature here, and again you can assign a key to it, and you have your options here where you can save it and whatnot, what type of format and so on. And you can also do video capture. You can in a dedicated key here to turn on the video capture feature, on and off. I don't use a video capture feature on MSI Afterburner. I use something else. This here I would just leave alone. Depending on how strong your processor, your graphics card is, you can have the quality go all the way up. You can have it, go to 50 or even 0 or 25%. I mean, it's up to you. I would just leave that at stock. Full frame. You want this at full frame. And I record at 30 frames per second. For me, that's plenty. Don't need it to be any higher than that. And you can choose where the file is saved here. Enable gamma correction. And that's it, guys. I mean, it's a very very handy, very easy tool to use. Also, if you want to make this here bigger or smaller, you can go here as well at user interface tab. You can make it bigger or smaller. I have this at 175. For me, that's plenty big with the correct size for my resolution. And you can also change the appearance. So if you want something like this, that'll allow you to do that there. So it's a pretty cool piece of software. I like it. I use it on every computer that I built for myself or for testing. This is something that for me, I must have it. Yeah, very neat. So I hope that this was helpful to someone. Excuse me if I maybe went a little bit too fast here, but if I did, let me know. Maybe I'll do something else in the future, where I go into more details. But I just wanted to kind of briefly make this video for you guys. I've never used it, I mean, you probably have seen it, but are not familiar with this piece of software here. It's really actually pretty simple to do. Overclocking is really safe, as long as you keep it in mind that there are, for like everything else, there's limitations. For you starters out there, don't mess with these two here. That's just what I recommend. And start slowly, maybe 25 megahertz at a time. Your memory the same 25 megahertz. Hit apply while you have this here running on Valid benchmark or Unigene Heaven benchmark running on the side here. And if you want to, what you can do as well is have this already configured. Have this configured so that you have the data live. So that way you're not wondering what it is that may have maybe the temperature went too high, or maybe your CPU was just overheating. So get a rough idea of maybe what went wrong, or if you're getting close to the limit of your graphics card's temperature or whatnot, and what your megahertz, what your current where your current speed is at as well. So have this live, have this running here in conjunction with your overclocking piece of software. And well, yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to bring you guys. I hope that this is helpful to those someone out there, some of you guys that are not familiar with this. I will leave the video here. I don't want to go on mumbling about it. If you guys like the video, hit thumbs up. Please subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.